Hey, Hickok 45 here. I know you must be wondering why I'm posting a Glock modification video, because I'm kind of famous for not modifying my Glocks, right? Just don't do much to them. I like them pretty much stock. But now there are a few things I do to them, and I wanted to start by showing you a couple of my favorite modifications or add-ons. How's that? Nothing more important than the hand and then some of this stuff right here. You got to have the ammo. Put your money in ammo. Put your money in picking up that gun, wrapping it around it, learning to shoot it, right? Those are, all joking aside, two of the most important modifications. Get your hand on it as often as you can. Get ammo in it as often as you can. Get to the range as often as you can. The two very most important modifications, okay? But what we're going to do here is take a look at a couple of things I actually do modify, and I haven't talked about much, and I get a lot of questions about it. What do I change internally? Do I change out the trigger and the sear, and just you name it, barrels and whatever? So let me talk a little bit about it. I haven't done that. We're so busy shooting, we just don't stop and do some of these basic things very often. Well, you know what I do? I really don't do anything inside. Okay, pretty much the bottom line. I keep the stock springs. I don't change out the springs at all. And you know, the barrels, I do have a couple of aftermarket barrels for shooting cast bullets, and a couple in a 45 and a 10mm, but I use stock barrels. There's nothing changed in there. I don't change out the sear, trigger, I mean, none of that. I just, every Glock I have, all whatever it is, 12, 14, whatever I have now, everything inside the gun is stock. Okay, I reorder springs every now and then, recoil springs, particularly for the guns I carry or shoot the most, about once a year, every couple of years, try to replace them. Truth be known though, I've shot guns 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years with the same spring and not any trouble. But if it's a gun I'm going to rely on heavily, I've got to where I'll do better about that. I'll try to order them every now and then. So my only modifications are exterior, basically. As you know, I like Talon grips. I put those on, even on the Gen 4s generally. I think I have one Gen 4 without them. Maybe I haven't put them on yet, but the Gen 4s are better in terms of grasp than the Gen 3s, I think. But the Talon grips take it beyond, or you know, the sandpaper. You may prefer some of the other sandpaper products, you know, but I like those, the way they wrap around. They feel great. And to me, that just gives me a much better feel. I even modify those. I like a strip right there, so I got that at Home Depot. It's very difficult to cut something that wraps around in one piece and covers, you know, down in this area. And that contacts my palm right there. That's one reason I like the baby Glocks. They fit right in there neatly. The hump on the baby Glocks does not bother me. And boy, if I get some friction on it like that, I mean, that thing locks in there. It's locked. I mean, it's great. I just recently changed out my Talon grips on it, replaced that and everything, so I got fresh grips on it. And I mean, I could go to war with that gun right now. It fits my hand like a glove, and I mean, it's just wonderful. I love it. So, you know, that's one of the modifications I do. That's what I just want to show you what I do. Come clean here. The night sights, I recently put Tru-Glos on this gun, because that is my carry gun, primary carry gun, the Glock 27. So I just went ahead and put those on there. I'm not necessarily selling Tru-Glos. They, gunners after somebody, they are fine. One thing I do like about them is you get a really nice sight picture in the daylight. And one of my pet peeves about night sights is they're great at night, but they don't do you any favors in the daylight. You can't see the sights. They're not quick to pick up. Now these you can pick up in daylight or in the dark. So that's the reason I put those on. I'm just trying them out. I'm not sure. The verdict's not in yet. I just have had those on for, I don't know, a few weeks. But so far I like them. Okay. All right. So I have no problem changing out sights. A lot of my Glocks I've not done that, you know, I've not changed out the sights. Some I have. Some I bought used, had night sights on them. So you see kind of a variety in my collection. Some will have night sights and some will not. It is rather random. I decided to be, I guess, proactive on this particular gun. This is my Gen 4 Glock 27. I love it. It has a great crisp trigger. I mean, it's a wonderful trigger, and it's my primary gun. I thought, you know, I think I'll try night sights on it. I can live without them, but they're nice. Okay, So the Talon grips, maybe night sights. You know, that's basically my exterior modifications or add-ons, and those are add-ons, of course. Now, there is one thing that I want to talk about in a second regarding those two guns. You might have already figured it out, but before we do that, I wanted to bring in something else I've looked at recently. There aren't many things I want to do to a Glock, and especially internally. So this, as you see, is kind of a beaver tail add-on. I'm experimenting with that. I saw these somewhere. Somebody sent me a link to them. I don't know, it's been 6 months or a year ago perhaps, and I thought that looked interesting. And then I lost the link or something, and thought I'd pick some up at a gun show or something and didn't see them. I know that's looking ugly. I'm going to explain that to you. But what these are they're grip force adapters. They make these to slip on any size Glock, and I'm just going to throw them out here. So, well, as fate would have it, they contacted me because they know I'm a Glock guy, and offered to send me some. I said, well, sure, send them along, because I've been meaning to order some, and I just hadn't seen them, and I forgot what they were called. So they did, sent me pins and everything. And again, I don't do infomercials, but I just want to make you all aware, because I get a lot of people ask me if I get slide bite from a Glock, because some of them do, and I don't. But I thought, well, you know, let me try these things. It might be that on my bigger Glocks or on like a Glock 20, maybe I'll like that. Because I mean, nobody can hate a beaver tail. You know, like on the Ed Brown or a nice 1911, you like a beaver tail. It just fits better, fits your hand better. So let me try it. Mainly, the real attraction of these for me is it looked like from the ad I had seen and someone I had talked to that it filled in this area here and kind of reduced that hump effect. It kind of straightened out the rear of the grip. That was my main interest in it. I've always wanted somebody to make something that would fit here, that would fill in that gap. Okay, now the baby Glocks, not so much. It doesn't bother me with them, but with anything bigger than a baby Glock, I hate the hump. I just detest it. And I've even ground a little bit on that one, and I'd already done that. And then I put this on here, and I've ground on that some. And that actually is fairly straight. So that's what I like about that right now. I'm just experimenting with that, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. It might be something you want to look at, consider. I think I read that Glock is actually going to come out with something like that. I'm not sure, but I think I did. So that's an option. That's something I would possibly do to one of my Glocks. Right now, I have it on this Glock 19 Gen 3. I put it on a couple of weeks ago, I think. And I've just been experimenting and grinding on it and just kind of trying to get an idea whether or not I like it or not. And I don't know. It could be that I would leave it on there and I would actually grind this off almost entirely as far as the beaver tail, because my main concern, again, is filling in that little gap there on the back of most Glock grips. So, but that is a grip force adapter. If you're looking for something, there may be some other companies, and if you know of someone else who makes something like this, add a comment. I'm just not aware. But that's something that to me makes a little sense. Something like that seems an intelligent move. And I know this company, they advocate that take it and grind on it, shape it. So what they're basically sending you is a piece of plastic or polymer to mold to fit you. And the guy that sent them to me, he actually did some of the modifications beforehand, because I told him I would probably still want to put Talon grips over it, and so you got concerns of that nature, and blend it into your grip as best you can. They come with lines on them. You see how the ridges, I didn't particularly care for the ridges. I don't need the ridges. So you see I have ground those down with my handy Dremel tool. I'm a gunsmith. I have a Dremel tool and a sledgehammer. And I will continue to grind that down, and they come with a longer pin to put in, all that kind of thing. So again, that might be an option for me. That's the reason I brought that up, because I know, those concerns about the grip on a Glock are always there for people to improve them. And I know you can send them off, and for 150, 200 bucks, you can have it shaped row bar or however you want to. Could be just a pin and a whatever those cost. I don't even know what they cost. I guess I don't know. To tell you the truth, $20, $30. I don't know what a pack of them is. Maybe more. But just an option, just to be aware of, because you can kind of shape it. That's something I'm experimenting with, and I'll keep you posted on that. It could be that I decide I don't like them at all, you know, or that I find that a certain grind on it, I like it better, you know, or I just want them on my Glock 20 or my Glock, you know, 21, I don't know. I did try them on, he sent me some for the baby Glock, I think, or actually I think 2 or 3 of them will fit on anything. But I put it on there and I didn't like the way it pushed my hand down a little too far. Maybe if I grind on it, it wouldn't do that, but on the baby Glock, I don't want my hand down any further, that's for certain. There is going to be a certain amount of thickness on that. I guess you could take almost all of it out. I don't know. I'm still experimenting, like I said. But I don't want anything that's going to bring my hand down further on a Glock. Right? That's perfect right there. My 2 fingers fit, especially if I've got the sandpaper. Fits perfectly. Okay? So anyway, that's some of the modifications I do. Now, the one I hadn't talked about yet, actually, I think 1 or maybe 2 people in 3 years have noticed that I do. Okay? Let me hold up the Glock 26. This is a test. Okay, you Glock people, what have I done to that gun? Because I have done that to a couple others of my favorite Glocks, particularly that I shoot a lot. There is something there that is a little different from the stock Glock. Yes, you got it. Bottom of that trigger guard just doesn't look the same, does it, as this one. See the hump on the bottom of the trigger guard? Put them there closer together. I have ground it off, and I did that 10, 12, 15 years ago on that Glock 26. I haven't done it yet on this gun, and I think I'm going to, because this is a keeper for sure. Not that it matters. I've actually sold or traded some of these, and people just thought that's wonderful, and they've actually asked me to do it for them, you know. So I are a gunsmith, and I didn't know it. So the reason I do that, now you wouldn't think it would make that much difference, but when you're talking about a gun with a grip this small, just getting your hand up there a little bit further and having a little bit more room for those fingers, getting that hump out of there, it really makes a difference. It's more comfortable. See, you got some thick polymer there, and you see the way it kind of comes down, got that little hump. I can tell the difference when I pick those two up. Now with the Talon grips, it's not a problem, but you know, I feel like I want to get my finger up a little bit further. And what I do is, since I'm definitely going to do it on this gun, I'll just start it, show you what I do. I take a Dremel with a sandpaper drum on it, and just turn that baby on and start working on it. Now I've got this done, you know it's clear. let me, that's not good practice, as I do know. We all know it's clear. You saw me mess with it in a non-edited video, but let's take that off anyway. I'll cover this up with plastic sometimes, or bag, whatever, but I'm not going to do much. But I'll just kind of take my time with it and, you know, work it down. Work that hump off. It doesn't take really about 15 minutes to do a nice job on them. Yeah. So I'll take that off and I'll work on it, move it all the way across there, take the hump down just like I've done on that one. And then I take some really fine grit sandpaper like this, and just almost like polish it, you know, just get it smoothed out, get the rough marks out of it and that sort of thing. You can even use a polisher on one of these if you want to. But anyway, you can tell there is definitely a difference in that gun, and it makes a difference in the feel. Okay, so all the videos we've done and all the Glocking we've done and all the guns lying on the table, all the great close-ups John's given you, you haven't noticed that. I think maybe 1, 2 people have commented or asked me about that, so it's kind of interesting. I've been trying to keep it a secret. I just, you know, I hesitate to bring it up in a video without actually kind of explaining it and why I do it and everything, and just kind of casually mention it, and then other people start butchering on their Glocks, or you know, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, I can't believe you do that, ruin the value of your Glock and all that." Hey, to each his own. I are a gunsmith, like I said, so. You know, we don't think anything about doing that, smoothing out edges and giving the melting effect, whatever they call it, the 1911. Or, you know, the nice thing about a Glock is you can do that yourself. Yeah, you take your chances. You might reduce the value, but I don't know. It increases the value for me. It makes it feel a lot better. So, taking that little hump off the trigger guard externally, getting some grips that really enhance the grasp of it, and maybe night sights. That's all I do. Like I said, I'm experimenting with these adapters. It may be that I end up with those on a couple of Glocks. So if you see those on a gun, or maybe I pull out the Glock 20 and I've got it all, you know, dressed up with that thing and it's been ground down and shaped, that's what it is. I don't know. I'm going to experiment with them and see how I like that. But that's all I do. I don't change anything internally. And you saw the two most important add-ons and modifications there at the beginning of the video. And that's one of them, of course, and then the ammo is the other one. Buy ammo. Don't major in minors and think that you can change out a spring and you're going to win the IPSC match the next week. You know, it generally doesn't work that way. Buy ammo, shoot the things, and they'll work for you. So those are my modifications. Nothing maybe all that interesting. I know there's a lot of really interesting modification videos out there, probably with all kinds of crazy things people do. But that's all I do. Thought maybe you'd find it interesting. So life's good.